kid is so wavy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Game Logic from the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube, one of the co-hosts of the Enough to Keep Going weekly video games podcast on the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube. Back with another episode of my gaming diary. It is Gamedate 79899.6, and tonight we're going to be getting things a little bit sweaty, playing some Forza Horizon 6 on the Xbox Series X. So without much further ado, let's get to it. So I do have filters set. I have cleared off some of the administrivia for tonight by checking messages and payouts and that sort of stuff. Learned some interesting things about the Elgato Wave XLR Pro. And one of those is don't put the mixer on voice focus for your game input. That will not get you the results that you're expecting. I had choppy audio, which I also had earlier today. Choppy voice audio, which I had earlier today when I recorded some footage of The Outer Worlds 2. And I was like, why am I getting choppy in-game audio? It was because when you turn on that voice focus for the game audio, it does not get you the same results as when you turn it on for the mic. Thank you. That's like real world driving there, where you're like, I don't know which direction I'm turning now, but I'm going whichever way that guy's not going. Oh. All right, guys, come on. Jeez Louise. Got a very long transit, 16 miles here to get down to this event. Oh my gosh. So this is going to be a relatively short Let's Play tonight, just 30 minutes or so. Just got done recording the episode 436 of the Enough to Keep Going weekly video games podcast tonight, where because of scheduling, we had to do a mega-sode of everything that that we found interesting that was announced during this week of Summer Game Fest. So we covered the PlayStation State of Play, Summer Game Fest, Future Games Show, and the Xbox Showcase. It's about 44 games that we had to talk about all at one time. We were planning on doing 2 shows. And then we all had family stuff come up. So we just opted to do the one show, which was cool, but we had to put all 44 games in one show. Every year I keep saying this is the last year that I'm war rooming the Summer Game Fest faux E3. And I'm just going to wake up the next morning and watch the thumbnail videos on some website for everything that was announced, and just watch the stuff that really I find interesting or appealing from the description or the album art or whatever, and that has yet to turn out to be true. Ooh. Yeah, you misread that. Oh my god. Now this has happened once before, and I went over the side, and I actually did not go rolling down the hill, although that had been my great fear. But now I'm just gonna go rolling down the hill because there's no way I'm climbing back up there in a Dodge Viper in the snow. So it's an interesting slate this week. I am playing Gears of War 2018 on PC, Luna Abyss on PC, which is just a really great, gorgeous game that I discovered. Unfortunately, one of those games that, because it's in the indie space, isn't getting a ton of hype and praise, but it is really, really incredible. Love the combat. It's kind of like lesser G combat, so not zero G, not full on zero G, but it definitely has, a lessened amount of gravity that's imposing in the environment you're in when you're down in the abyss. And then has bullet time effects. So it's really awesome. And then, as I mentioned earlier, playing The Outer Worlds 2 on the Xbox Series X. Apparently going to be incorporating a little Forza Horizon 6 into this week as well. So overall, it's a lot of games that I'm going to be interested in playing out of Summer Game Fest. So probably, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, somewhere like 25 games or so that I'm interested in playing. 3 major games of the show for me out of the whole week. Trying to think of what they are now. Man, it is way too busy to be this late at night. So one of those games was Exodus. It was okay. So number 1 game for me, probably Clutch, which was shown, it was really announced earlier in the week and then showed up at the Summer Game Fest. The announcement earlier in the week was really the one that to me is more informative about the game in the studio. In fact, what was showed at Summer Game Fest, I'm pretty sure was actually a subset of what was announced earlier in the week, I feel like. 'Cause I feel like I'm pretty sure I saw all that footage. There was a little more footage. The whole thing of like the criminal activity component of the game, which is like 1/3 of the game, Mike Brown described earlier in the week, but we didn't see footage of that, so that footage was new. And then one of my other major games of the show was Exodus, which has very strong Mass Effect DNA. The scope of the game is really incredible. I hope the team is able to stick the landing, because it's ambitious game design. I don't want to say it's ambitious because it's never been done before. It's ambitious in its scope, and I don't think that the team, it's very much a Mass Effect type game. I don't think this is a team of like 300 people. I think they're smaller, so I just hope that they're able to pull it all off. I'm trying to remember what my other third major game was. Fable was not one of my games of the show, but the appearance of Haley Atwell as the villain really kind of flipped me over from a game that I was planning on ignoring, because I'm not a big legacy Fable fan, or Fable player. So I mean, I've always appreciated the game's design and what Peter Molyneux set out to do, but it always came off as a game that was just really too big for me. Probably Crossfire. Crossfire was probably my other big three game. So yeah, Clutch, Crossfire, and Exodus were probably my three big games of the show. I should say games of the week, because it's not like they all showed up at one show. Ooh. I wish you could see how much it was before you stopped, so you could tell. There's no way I can afford that, so. Nope, we'll just put that in the garage. I have no hope of making any type of a clean transit to the spot, so. Definitely feels like this car is much more at home on cross-country snow terrain than street level. Can't keep this thing on the road for nothing. So although there were a smaller number of games that I really want to pay attention to, I think that's okay. I think in some ways I'm becoming a little more picky and choosy about what I'm saying I'm going to pay attention to, because there's just too many games and it doesn't make any sense. asserting that I'm going to keep up with, so many, way more games than is reasonable for me to actually execute on. Obviously, the big dynamic people are talking about is that, while we got a lot of dates for a lot of games, none of them were for the month of November. Everybody giving GTA 6 an incredibly wide berth. I personally feel like way more than is actually necessary. Like, I feel like it doesn't make any sense for like no games to be launching in November. At least none that are, nobody announcing. Jeez. This thing is driving horribly now with the damage that it's picked up. Oh my gosh. If I weren't 2.7 miles away from, I think I'm gonna try and No. I was like, can I drive straight there over land? And I'm like, no, not when there's a big body of water between me and the waypoint. I spent half of tonight's session just getting over here. That was not my plan, so I apologize for that. Man, this thing is okay. What I should have done is I should have jumped in that car that I bought. Change car. And do I have anything maxed out? Those are, but I'm not driving that. Fine. Go ahead and drive the Aston Martin. Ridiculously aggressive AI. It's one of my pet peeves of this game. Totally unnecessary. Makes no sense. No, I'm not checking the clue because I don't do treasure hunt. What is that, a rocket over there? I don't think I've ever seen that. These mascots are ridiculously hard to see. I was all proud of myself from turning it so tight that I didn't even bump the guardrail on the way. Oh, come on. I guess part of the problem is it is snowing, so the streets especially are definitely slippier. Irakawa Space Center. Oh, that's dope. Oh man, I gotta drive these things. Are you kidding me? This is not my favorite classic car by any means. Three laps, which means this is going to be Another struggle bus event. Because with the way this car is upgraded and tuned, I definitely have much greater straightaway speed, but these courses are so curvy and narrow. A lot of times I get jammed in scenarios where I can't really exert that horsepower. Then I run out of track to really catch the leaders. Okay, up into 8th. Yeah, you see some trash like this with this guy like just stuck like glue on your 3/4 pounder. The more and more I drive against this AI, the more and more I'm getting aggravated with it now after Forza Horizon 3, 4, and 5. Wasn't really shaping up to be a great line for me to take through there. So I took what I could get. Okay, up into 7th. Tried to hold my speed through that turn a lot higher than the first 2 times through. That did not work out. Really unnecessary. Up into 5th at least. Nope. Come on. I was hoping I could pull it in close enough to get it in a 4th. I am surprised I'm up to level 65. Kind of snuck up on me. Okay, so can't do that yet.
Huh. Seaside parking, maybe? Let me know when you find it.
Okay, now I gotta find a good event. Okay, yeah, I haven't done that one yet.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Six miles.
Turn right.
Keeping the festival on overdrive.
Bowie knife.
It's Horizon XS.
course, I choose after the race to hit a couple really good corners in this goofy car. Really can't stand these things. Seriously? Yeah, I was like, I'm glad it came up showing it's hard. I'm like, this guy can't be the same car class that I am. He's not a D-class car. Because, of course, usually when you're transiting, the other cars you come across will be, the other drivatars you come across will be the same class car you are. Most of the time, it seems like. Yeah, we may only have time for one more event tonight in a 30-minute Let's Play.
400 yards. Turn sharp left.
And like I said, I do want to
Turn sharp left.
ground travel from event to event to keep working down my road discovery. I mean, it does also help getting that familiarity time in the different vehicles. Didn't really think about how I was braking and taking that corner until it was too late. I was kind of daydreaming. I mentioned when I first got into this region how the countryside is just a lot more beautiful than the areas around Tokyo. Of course, I'm hoping for some seasonality up here and not it just being snow and packed ice forever. It'd be really great to get up here when it's got some green in the background.
400 yards. Turn left.
And yeah, this area is definitely reminiscent of the mountain hillside area in Japan, in Mexico, in Forza Horizon 5.
With the hottest, loudest, non-stop rock.
Yeah, let's not go. Let's not go rolling down the mountainside. Oh, am I in a drift event? Yeah, I didn't even realize I'd cut it into a drift zone, which usually the drift zones I ignore because I hate drift events.
You've arrived at your destination.
Okay, looks like we might get to drive some cool classic cars. And a cool set of cars. I only have the RS200 Evolution. This is one that is not souped up, so I am going to run this event, and then I'm going to need to swing it by house to upgrade it. This is a 3-lap event. Okay, okay. Racing everybody up the corkscrew. Ooh, actually got some room here to make some moves. Up into 4th. Not gonna hate. Ooh. I backed off that trail braking because I was starting to get concerned that I was going to spin the car around into a 180. Right, that would make this race unrecoverable. Here we go, here we go. Nice. Nice drift pass. Okay, the problem now being that I'm in the front. You don't have somebody to follow into these turns. This is not quite the same feel that I have for the Subarus, but it's not that much further off. Still feels pretty good. As far as me being comfortable on where to trail brake and where to counter steer. So like I said, my big thing will be keeping this thing from spinning out into a 180. And that might be accomplished by just me keeping calm out here in front and not overdoing it unnecessarily so. Let's get some air. Nope, don't do it. Don't you do it. A good amount of lead there. Yeah, I can definitely take some care feeding power back into the rear tires as I come out of the apogee of the turn. Got a good enough lead that I don't need to be taking ridiculous risks on cutting time. Yeah, this is good. This is lap 3 because my ability to mental focus through that corkscrew was, I was like, I don't think I can do this but one more time. Good that that's the last time I need to do it for this race. Whew. Up above 130. Crazy in some of these turns. Oh, jeez. Time! I did not need that in the middle of that corner. Ah! Hate myself for setting that alarm for the timer. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Oh, man. It was like if I had spun the car out because of that timer going off, I'd been mad. All right, we'll take that, though. Yeah, I kind of wish this thing would automatically waypoint you to the next event, so I didn't have to like go back and search all over the map. Fortunately, these 3 events seem like they were kind of on one parallel, horizontally from west to east on the map. So hopefully that will be the case. But right now, I actually need to... let's go ahead and knock out the car mastery. See where I can apply skill points. Okay. There's a wheel spin. Okay, it wasn't big money, but I can't call that entirely stingy either. Where's the nearest house? What the heck? Okay, well, these are the other events. I guess I can go to that house, to May's house, so that'll put me close to event 2. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for anybody who happens to swing by and watch this Let's Play on the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube. I appreciate you. If you do swing by, please feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can just receive a notification whenever I post new content. I've got one more Let's Play to do of Forza Horizon, at least. And I'm also doing some long plays, maybe, of Outer Worlds 2. But really, I might be doing them of Outer Worlds 2, Luna Abyss, or God of War 2018, so we'll just have to see. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, play the games that you like, come here to talk to me about the games that you love. Once again, my name has been Game Logic from the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube. One of the co-hosts of the Enough to Keep Going weekly games podcast on the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube. Nope, don't do that. Oh, whew. Almost went over the side again. Always fun when you guys tune in and watch along and have fun on your own. Watching me play some of the latest games or just some classics, some oldies but goodies. Alright, let's go ahead and get this car to May's house. This car's so fast, 150. Oh boy.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Yeah, I didn't want to give up that speed in the speed board.
You have arrived at your destination.
All right, everybody. Until next time, good night, good luck, and good gaming. That's going to do it for me. I'm out of here.